So they've, you know, kept it competitive for themselves, if you will. But look at this. This is not looking good. Peterbot is material now as well. But he's gonna get the save. And Quanti doesn't have time to jump down. Quanti is debating on options here, and he's gonna back off. And talk about a close call. If they would have fallen here, wow, what a story we'd have playing out before our eyes.
Granted, they're not out of the hot water just yet. I know that they just managed to find themselves above that damage threshold. Quanti, however, he's in a really tough position. He was forced to kind of leave Yapko behind there, but Pollo and Peterbot just over this ridge. I saw Acorn and Gold, and they're not the only ones that could be lurking nearby. So Pollo and Peterbot, they could still potentially get caught out here, but it is going to be a lot more difficult to try and confirm an elimination onto one or a pair even after the two perform. And with the way that things are shaping up here, MDF, I could definitely see some craziness ensuing inside of our final match of this weekend. Bugha and Aviv, though, they've traveled down from that north end of Classy Courts, spent a decent amount of time inside of the storm, and yet they still find themselves well above that damage threshold. So they have been able to converge on other players for that damage. Still, this lobby on the other end of the bridge, across from Reckless Railways, Peterbot, Pollo, trying to see if they can get an opening onto Virgo and Shadow. Veno and Clix as well. Clix is incredibly hurt here. They do have an ample amount of heals. The problem is, will they be able to get them all?
And you just never know once you start throwing the wild cards in the mix here. Like I said before, there's a reason I call Seek and Dash, in particular the Disruptors, alongside Nerface and Sid. They're just really good when it comes down to taking fights, taking battles. Blaha and Mixon are also a very scary duo to fight here today. If you just look at the points, though, as far as total earned points, you wouldn't figure them to be such a threat. But today, they're playing like a top 10 duo and then some. So this is a very dangerous position to be in for Clix and Veno now, who have completely exhausted their heals. Look at that. And everyone in this bottom pocket here is very worse for wears right now. Blaha, though, does have a med kit to play with. He's got plenty of materials, so it was just a means of surge. And now playing for the zone here, it's going to go north. So this is good, this early reveal. They should be moving soon and not sticking around, so they won't be too much of a problem for some of the other teams here. But it's going to be the surge that's going to start determining a lot for teams here. Blaha and Mixon will have to fight.
They're trying to get some traction up this hill, but unfortunately, that heal situation rapidly dwindling, especially once those Storm Surge ticks start to come into effect. Paco gets knocked in the distance. This could be a much needed amount of damage here for Blaha and Mixon. It does cut the gap ever so slightly, but they're still 68 below that threshold margin. They need more. Shots raining in as well from Chubbs and Skittles on the high ground across the way, and they're not the only ones. Victor V, Paper as well, also holding a decent elevated position. So Blaha Mixon, they're forced to wrap around from the opposite end.
So coming in, and they're out of material. Crashback comes out. This is a desperate move to the dead side of the zone right now. Very, very close call for them. There's teams in front of them, but the terrain is going to work in their favor. Now here's the question. Do they just sit and wait for an opportunity to come their way? Do they play for placement points here and now? But instead, it seems like the decision's being called out. They want this refresh. They have to get it, but no. Poffy and company make it up and over. Clix and Veno falling in 20th. Peterbot and Pollo still standing here and likely to run up plenty more points. Do we put it past Veno to land on Clix? Make the call for Veno and Clix to land on Peterbot and Pollo. The only chance that they have is to literally take these guys out of the lobby. There's about 50 or 60 points gapping them right now. So come when this game concludes and all the points have been tallied up, it's only going to become more and more worse if they remain standing here. Threats has a chance here to catch up, but it's not looking good. They're also going to get locked in position, so second and third for now won't move an inch, but Acorn and Cold are up top. They have a lot of room to go ahead and catch up now. Depending on how big of a game they can make out of this one, they'll be in the race for first place as well coming into the last game.
Like what Cole did there from the other end, make sure that they can connect from the high ground. So now they've got their pick of the litter, and Acorn, he's going to continue tarping out, as you already called. Good amount of material to work with as well, and they know that they have time on their side because of how much damage they already have above that surge threshold. They're just looking down, waiting for their opportunities. They see teams going for the rotates. Duke's going to be one of the first ones getting lit up in the sky. These crash pad rotates now seemingly more impossible to go by unscathed. Peterbot and Poyo, though, they find Mongrel and Mr. Savage. Excuse me, it's just going to be Mongrel on the low ground, but regardless, the damage is done here. Taken out in seconds as Peterbot and Poyo, even though they don't necessarily have the greatest material count, it might not matter. They know they can slow play this, and they're going to drop to ultimate low instead. They're just trying to clean up eliminations as they slide into them.
This has been the game plan the entire time. Every time they jump down and they just work their way, cut down the lobby from the low ground here. But look, Boyo's down. Peterbot's solo here. He will have to play this one out. Continue. We're not inside the top 10 just yet, but he's got a lot of material to work with given the fact that he's on the ultimate low ground. Plenty of builds here. Meanwhile, high ground pressure continues to come down. Acorn and Cold hasn't given up an inch here. They are keeping that height very much distance from the rest. And look, the fact that the rest of the lobby hasn't even had a chance to look up and pressure them back tells us a lot. Peterbot slow healing through the zone, placement points slowly getting banked right here. He's in the 700 plus point threshold. It's crazy to even look at those numbers. It's absurd at how much he has been able to earn this game and continues to earn. A lot of competition in front of him, though. Batman Booga Rapid still in the game. Sphinx Duke's here. Muzz, Epic Whale still alive. A lot of teams that are fighting for global championship spots are still here in the running.
But Acorn and Cold, they're content to just let the rest of this lobby sort of cannibalize itself for them. They're still perched pretty up above everybody else. Rapid and Batman Booga trying to do what they can to work their way up. Instead, they're finding themselves moderately chopped. Sphinx and Dukes, though, they're gonna get shut down. But it's too little too late here. Rapid finds himself falling, caught in the crossfires. Peterbot actually gonna prosper, but it's only momentary. Cold has dropped. Join the mix with everybody else just playing that ultimate cleanup crew. It's only Batman Booga going for the medkit playoff. But I don't know if he has the... Actually,
Cold is trying to make sure that Batman Booga couldn't get the points, but it doesn't matter. Acorn and Cold in the end will win this game. They're second